Good morning. So this is lesson 12, October 14th and 15th, and this will be a really quick video because our lesson today is on Google Classroom. It's a Kami assignment for you to answer some questions about an essay, and I'm kind of providing a slightly shorter lesson today because we have some students who will only be in class for about 20 minutes because of the PSAT. And so if you have any additional time left over, then obviously you can be reading the end of In Cold Blood and doing those questions for steps 2 and 3 in your reading notes and preparing for that final discussion over the text next week. So remember, that's Monday, Tuesday of next week that we will be doing that. Also, if you are in periods, I think 4 and 7, I posted an announcement on Tuesday about how I'd accidentally put the wrong date for a parlay assignment. So basically, you just need to get that in by this Sunday if you want to get points for that. It's already in the grade book, so you should see a Z in the grade book if you have not already done that. So today we're going to focus on a concept that we've already talked about this year, but not in any great detail: line of reasoning. So in row B on the scoring guide, you are scored on whether or not you have a line of reasoning. If you don't have a line of reasoning, then you can't get either a 3 or a 4 on any of the essays. So what does that mean? And so basically, a successful line of reasoning, you're going to have reasons and commentary that connect to a primary argument. So basically, you're going to have a thesis, and you're going to have supporting points, and you're going to have commentary and evidence that's connected. And there should be a clear connection between all of those. In arguments that you read, sometimes the thesis or primary argument is not going to be stated explicitly. Sometimes it will be implied, but it should still be there. So if I got to the end of what I was reading, I should understand the point that the writer is trying to make, the point that they're trying to argue. And your essays, your thesis, topic sentences, and commentary should all be connected, and the structure of your essay should be ordered in a way that the argument builds and is connected. So I think we talked about this earlier in the year, but you shouldn't be able to take a paragraph out of your essay and just move it to a different location and have it still make sense. Your argument should be building on itself, and every idea or sentence should be dependent on the one that came before it. So the essay that you're going to read today is a short essay called Death Penalty Fails to Equal Retribution. And it's an essay that addresses a similar topic to what Bryan Stevenson addressed in his TED Talk. And I think that I think it's a good short little piece to look at because it's a good example of inductive reasoning. So you've probably heard of both inductive and deductive reasoning. You might have even talked about deductive reasoning in math. But the way that we structure our essays is typically deductive reasoning. So you start with a claim, then you have examples and supporting points that support that claim. Anna Quindlen's essay is a really good example of inductive reasoning because she's basically giving all of her reasons and her particulars before she actually gets to her thesis or her primary argument at the end of what she is writing. So I want you to think about that and think about that structure. Why does she have that structure? I've given you the definition of inductive reasoning on the Kami assignment, and I'm asking you to think about her line of reasoning. And then the final question is for you to think about how her line of reasoning compares to Bryan Stevenson's, because they both come to a conclusion about the death penalty that is similar, that they're not for it, but they arrive there for very different reasons and in very different ways. And so I want you to think about what the difference is. And so we can have, a same basic conclusion that we shouldn't, have the death penalty, but we could still be making very different arguments about the death penalty, about what the death penalty is, about what it's for, about why we shouldn't do it. And so I think that's good to think about, that in any topic and any, kind of idea, no matter how, controversial or how not controversial, that there are just really a huge spectrum of different ways to develop a position on those topics. So that's the assignment. It's on Google Classroom. Let me know if you have any questions.